Do you trust him fully now?
I don't know him yet.
Why didn't you try to get to know James?
Do I need to?
For as much as Tata wants her sister and her husband to get along, it really doesn't seem like her sister is playing ball. She has no interest in getting along with James. All she seems to be interested in is getting to the States. Angel's creating a lot of stress in James and Tata's relationship. Stress that I'm not sure their marriage can handle.
I love you so much. I also love my family, and you know it.
She hates my guts. She hates
Forgive and forget.
That's easier said than done, especially when the person in question seems determined to cause trouble in their marriage. Trouble in their marriage under their roof in the States. Yeah, that's right. Angel is coming to live with them in America. But before we get to that, let's rewind to the start. So the last time we saw James and Tata, James was leaving her to go back to the States. Tata was determined she wouldn't be coming with him, and it left them both heartbroken. But when we join them today at the tell-all, there's been a surprising development.
Feeling like I'm going into all this basically naked and alone.
But you're not alone. You're with me.
Tata has returned. She's now back in America. But, as we're about to see shortly, her return has come with some strings attached. Now, we'll get to that in a second. But, for now, the couple themselves are the first to admit that their issues aren't yet all resolved. How are you finding life back in America? Asks Sean. To which Tata admits there's a lot they still have to figure out.
It's hard, and we still have a lot of argument.
But the relationship's changed from before we left, for sure.
It's different today than it was before.
It's different today than it was, yeah.
I'm not sure if he means that in a good way or a bad way. If they are still fighting all the time, then nothing's really changed, has it? So what are the main issues plaguing their marriage? Well, much like Sapa and Shekinah, James reveals that jealousy is playing a big role in their relationship too. But, he says, I have the solution.
All right, well, when we go out in public, if we're leaving the house, there's 2 rules you should always remember. 1, keep my hand full and my balls empty, and you won't ever have to worry about anything.
Interesting rule, James. It now makes a little bit more sense why Tata was so worried when he left that he'd end up cheating. You can definitely understand why that need to always have his balls empty might leave her feeling vulnerable from the other side of the world. Now, thankfully, one less thing for them to worry about. Now that she's in the States, hopefully she can lend him a helping hand. But how exactly did her return to the States come about? She was so adamant that she wouldn't be returning. So what made her change her mind?
That he promising me that he will bring my sister here. That's why I agree, okay, I will come back there, but you need to keep this promise.
Gosh, that is a very, very big ask, isn't it? After everything we've seen of Angel, you can completely understand why James is terrified of this visit. And it is just a visit for now. It's a very extended visit. Angel intends to stay for 6 months. That's 6 months sharing his house with the woman that tried to split him and his wife up. The woman that went out of her ways to spread lies about him. Yeah, James must be a much better man than me, because I, for one, would not let a woman like that in my house, let alone live with me. Now, James does admit that he's apprehensive, right? But even the very mention of this, sharing that with the group, triggers Tata's normal reaction. The second she hears anything that isn't exactly as she wants it to be, well, you know as well as me what happens.
Yeah, she's always trying to, cause issues between us.
It's just hard.
She is so cute, but she's crying too much. I mean...
Well done, Sapa. Finally, someone has said what we've all been thinking. Her tears are just way too much. She cries about everything. Now, interestingly, Sapa making that observation seems to snap Tata out of it. She immediately turns off the waterworks, and actually she admits she knows that her crying is a problem. She admits that she needs to control her emotions a lot better. It is good to know that, at least she says, she's actively working on this. Better late than never. But on that topic of working on it, someone who has no intention of working on things is Angel. Now, it's at this point that they bring Angel up on a video call, and literally from the very first moment, the conversation is wild.
Hi, Tata.
And James is right next to her.
How are you there?
I'm good.
Hi, James.
Hi.
So sincere.
Yeah, talk about awkward. Now, at first, Angel only speaks to Tata. She pretty much completely blanks James, and it takes Sean to point out that James is there too. You can include him in the convo as well. But, judging by what she then goes on to say, James might actually prefer it if she just blanked him.
Do you trust him fully now?
I don't know him yet.
Why didn't you try to get to know James?
Do I need to?
Do I need to? Is she serious? That's your brother-in-law. He's the man facilitating the visit of yours. Talk about rude. I mean, her entire attitude is just off, isn't it? Like, when they ask her, is there anything at all, anything that you'd like to know about James? Her response is...
Nothing.
It really just feels like she's looking for any excuse not to like the guy, not to trust him. And the faces in the studio say it all. Like, they ask her, do you even love your sister? If you do, then wouldn't you want to know the person she intends to spend the rest of her life with?
I love my sister very much, but...
But then you should show it more.
I don't know, I just don't want to know James like that much.
That's sad.
For someone who wants to come and visit their home, who says that she has a good relationship with her sister, this woman is going out of her way to be unpleasant. Now, James asks her, what exactly have I done to you that makes you hate me so much? And her severely unhelpful response is, it's just you. She doesn't seem to have any actual explanation, any logical rationale for her behaviour. In fact, she doesn't seem to care that she's also making Tata's life miserable.
So I just in the middle try to how to make these two just get along.
And that makes our relationship harder.
Now, seeing how she is, right, everyone in the studio is on James's side, naturally. But they do try to reason with Angel. They ask her, can you not make an effort to get on with James on Tata's behalf? But again, her response is wild. She just says, what can I do? It's as if she's helpless, she's playing the victim. What more can I do? It's not my fault, she wants us to believe.
What should I do?
Change your entire personality.
And hearing this, seeing her adopt this attitude is too much for everyone. Practically everyone on that stage has some advice for Tata that Angel isn't gonna like.
You think Tata should cut off Angel?
Yeah,
I agree with
I
that.
do.
Clearly, she doesn't give a about you or him.
I did cut her off for 2 years.
Yeah, you did cut her off, but now she's back. Now you've allowed her back in your lives and in the future back in your house. Sorry, but that is not the attitude you want in your home, is it? If she's creating this much drama when she's on a different continent, what's she gonna do to their marriage when she's under the same roof? Now, interestingly, some of the female castmates have their own little theories about all of this. They suggest that Angel's attitude might stem from the fact that she's jealous of Tata. She's jealous that Tata is younger, got married first, and lives in America. But Angel doesn't agree. In fact, she says it's the opposite.
No, I'm jealous with James because he stole my sister. My sister also my best friend. It's just like suddenly.
And finally, there it is, straight from the horse's mouth. All of her bitterness stems from the fact that she sees James as the one that took her best friend away. Now, maybe if she put a bit more effort into getting to know James rather than being vindictive, she might still have her best friend in her life. But she also shares that there's something else that James did that also pissed her off. You see, in Indonesian culture, apparently, James was supposed to have asked Angel's permission to marry Tata, but he refused to do so. Why? Well, because she'd been spreading lies about him. Why would I ask her permission if she hates me? James rightly says. But the thing is, Angel sees things very differently. She sees James as the sort of guy who talks a lot but doesn't back it up.
That's why I don't like James, because he keeps promising,
She
like
admits it.
a lot of promising, but he never show us that he gonna make it happen.
Now, to be fair to her, she does have a point there. James has broken a lot of promises. And now, seizing on this, using this as an excuse to maybe try and justify how she feels, Angel brings up one of those promises that she knows is going to play on her sister's emotions. She brings up the topic of kids. You promised you and Tata would have kids, Angel reminds them, and now, James, you've backed out of it. And while James goes on to explain why that is, he says he doesn't want to bring kids into this world that's so uncertain and dangerous at the present moment in time. The most surprising thing here is that Tata actually has James's back. She stands by him.
If he doesn't want to have a kid, I will still gonna be with him because I marry him.
Tata says that it will hurt her if she never becomes a mum. But, she says, her love for James is so deep that she'll stay with him through the good times and the bad. Now, that is not what Angel wants to hear. She just doesn't understand it. But you know what I don't understand? I don't understand why someone so unsupportive of this marriage is on her way to come and live with them.
You are going to pay for her visa.
It's already in process. Tata wouldn't come until I started the process. It had to be started.
That's a very big ask, isn't it? It comes across almost like blackmail. If you don't bring my sister along, I won't return. I don't know, there's something about that doesn't quite ring true with what she just said. Her vow that she'd be with James no matter what. Still, the fact is, I don't know how a marriage can last when there's such little trust between them. The fact that Tata refused to come back until James actually started the process screams that she didn't believe he'd actually do it, right?
I don't think it was fair.
If she come, what's the date that she will stay? How long?
It's an open up to 6 months.
Wow.
Cancel that.
I'm 100% with Sean here. If I were James, I'd cancel that visa application immediately, this afternoon. But unfortunately, the problem is, as we've seen ourselves repeatedly throughout this season, to his detriment, James appears to be the kind of guy that seeks to avoid conflict. For as much as he hates Angel, I think the potential headache it would cause with his wife if he were to cancel Angel's application would all be too much for him. James does go on to tell us, right, that he's now focused on working and saving money. Once we've got enough money saved, he says, our plan is still to return back to Indonesia one day. But I really hope for his sake that by the time that happens, Angel hasn't completely ruined his marriage.
I love you so much. I also love my family, and you know it.
She hates my guts. She hates that you-
Forgive and forget.
I think whatever James does, he's in a no-win situation. He can apologise till he's blue in the face, he can seek forgiveness, he can try his best to change. But the truth is, regardless of what he does, I think there's just no changing Angel's mind. She hates him, she always will. And I think her visit, her living under their roof, might just be the final nail in their coffin. It might be the worst thing that could ever happen to their marriage.